Good morning, all. Wanted to do a solo audio version of Tone's Daydreaming again. It's going to be short. What it was based on, what I would like to base it on is energy and interruption. You're going to hear airplanes flying over because this is a traffic zone for them, and one is on its way. I'm sure you heard that. I wanted to do something different this morning, and I said, you know what? Every morning, when I wake up, I always say to myself that there's gonna be a day I won't have to do this shit anymore. Get up and run and keep somebody's business afloat. I hate it, but deep in my mind, deep in my heart, deep in my spirit, I know one day I'll have my opportunity to be my own boss, and have my own business and do what I want to do what I like to do. I'm gonna tell you something that's crazy, man. My son's uncle said something to me, man, a while back, maybe about a year or two ago, and I tell you, man, I will never ever forget what he said to me, because I bring this shit up periodically, and that's people in suits work for people in pajamas. There are people that wake up in the morning, they go to their balconies in their robes, sit down, crack open a newspaper, smoke a cigar, maybe drink their coffee or their tea, and they own the industry, they own their corporation. And then there's people like us that right now we're racing to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock or whatever, and you're running here, running there, trying to get this together, that together, your children together, just so you can run out the house and battle traffic and make it to work on time, to put up with other people's shit and repeat this whole routine all over again the next day. Eat, sleep, repeat. But what about the guy that was in the pajamas? The dude doesn't even know what's coming in, how much money he's generating or whatever, because he has people working for him, or she has people working for her. And the reason why I decided to do this audio first thing in the morning is because if I'm going to do this shit, the least I can do is stand up to what I said, and that's give myself at least 10% of my life back to myself. And that's why I chose to do this early in the morning. Because there are people out here that forget every day that we're programmed to do this shit. This is a free world and a free life. But the way it's designed is to keep men and some women in power. It's the evil that men do. But damn, if we're gonna live like this, why not give yourself 10% so that 10% could give you another 10% somewhere down the line, and then you start giving yourself 20. And then from that point, you start learning to fight for yourself, to be who you are supposed to be, who you were designed to be. Now, not everyone is going to do this, because this isn't for everyone. Everyone isn't programmed to think for themselves. There are people out here that are programmed to think this is the way it's supposed to be. That's why they tell their children, you have to go to school, you have to do this, and you have to do that, so you can grow up and have a good job, and this, that, and the third. And the minute that that child tells that parent that they have a dream and they want to do this and they want to do that, the parent shuts them down. Oh, come on, get out of your head, because that's never going to happen. So you mean to tell me that you want to be such and such, and what if that doesn't fall through? At least you have college. At least you have this, and at least you have that. That's cool. That's fine. But also remember that there are people that go to college that when they get out, 9 times out of 10, they don't even get the fucking job they bust their ass in college to achieve. But I tell you what they will get and will have, and that's a bill that you have to pay for. Now, I'm not discrediting anyone for wanting to go to college. I would love to go to college for my own personal things, for like filmmaking or anything in the arts, because I love art. In my heart, in my mind, I feel like I'm an artist. I like to entertain or whatever. That's what I like to do. And it's like, if we don't try, if we don't believe in our personal 10%, then you're gonna give 100% to someone else who does not know you are their employee, and you're gonna still keep that person afloat. Meanwhile, when you get your check, all you're doing is paying your bills and trying to save up something out of it. But what have you done? What talents do you have that you don't fight for every day to learn what you're capable of, what you know, that you're qualified to do X, Y, and Z for yourselves? All we're doing is just busting our ass every fucking day to keep somebody else afloat, to keep them living, to keep their children in schools, the best schools, to keep them eating the best foods, to keep them traveling. Now, I'm not saying shit the person didn't deserve it or didn't work hard for it, but that's because that person gave themselves the 10% and worked themselves to having 20%, 30, 40, 50, to learning their fucking potential, to where it becomes so fucking easy that at the end of the day, they're on their second business, their third business, and it's not a business anymore, it's a fucking company. But what are we doing? What are we doing? We're doing nothing. And then posting on social media, living my best life. Motherfucker, you ain't living a goddamn thing unless you give yourself 10%. I'm living my best 10%. I'm living my best 20%. And then the fucking crazy part is that we, as, Africans in America, as Latinos, we complain when other people get things and have that green light in life. We start calling it privilege. But if you're gonna get mad, why don't you create black privilege or Latino privilege and stop worrying about everybody else's privilege? And the reason why that privilege is there is because someone somewhere gave themselves some time of the day back to themselves. Now, I'm not saying, hey, wake up in the morning, go to work, this, that, and the third, and then go shop and buy yourself something and say, hey, I did this for myself. That's a waste of fucking time. I'm talking about if you're gonna go to work or whatever, take a few minutes out of your time or maybe 1 hour out of your day and work on something that you believe in. You have to. Because if not, life will fly right past. I mean, shit. You remember when you were children and you were having all the fun? You remember when you reminisce and you say, oh, I remember on Saturdays, this cartoon used to come on and that cartoon used to come on. And then after that, around 1 o'clock, the karate flicks came on. Well, what happened when you hit 20 years old? As soon as you hit 20, it's like life starts flying by. You're already fucking 30. And when you hit 30, you think you're fucking living? Guess what? 40's right around the fucking corner. And then 50. And next thing you know, shit starts to hurt in your bodies. The time will go by fast if you don't give yourself something. There are so many people out here that are happy to have made 5 years working for this company. That's bullshit. October 21st, I just made 3 years working for this company, a company that I've always wanted to get in, and I got in it. I went through some bumps and bruises, got in it one time, dad died, didn't I didn't even step foot in the door. Got the job, but didn't step foot in the door for my day one. And then later on down the line, it was presented to me in a better, with a better title, better pay. And now, 3 years later, I'm on an audio vlog on YouTube telling you that I'm trying to give myself 20% now. Yeah, I'm at my beginning stages, but we all gotta hold each other's hands and pull. So, at the end of the day, it's almost my time to get up. It's almost my time to jump in the shower. It's almost my time to go start up my car, come inside and iron, and figure out what bullshit I'm gonna have to put up with today. Who's gonna complain today? Oh, this isn't fixed in my apartment. Can you send someone? Oh, how come I didn't have heat last night? Oh, somebody was sleeping in the building and he was drunk. Oh, somebody exposed themselves. Oh, shut the fuck up. But if that's the case, if I have to do this, somewhere in between my day, I'm giving myself something back. Listen, the past couple of weeks doing the Tones Daydreaming or just filming anything and just creating these thoughts, these ideas, that's my 10%. That's my therapy. That's what I like to do. And yeah, sometimes I wonder, I say to myself, like, am I doing something stupid? Is this immature or whatever? And then I gotta snap out of it and I gotta say, this is mine. I gave myself time back to make somebody happy, make somebody smile, make someone laugh. And even say, yo, look at this couple right here. They're having fun. I'm sure they work hard and, they go through shit during the day, but they're happy at the end of the day. But I just don't want to be happy. I wake up every morning, I say to my girl all the time, there's gonna be a day we won't have to do this shit. I can see the light right now. Daylight's trying to creep through windows. And I'm under the covers. It's toasty. Got the ceiling fan on. It's dark in here again with some daylight trying to creep in. It's a little bit after 7. And you know what? I'm not in a rush. Nor will I be. Because I'm not going to get on the highway to race to another borough and can possibly get myself injured due to a fucking accident or get pulled over by police because I'm speeding. Just a race to get to somebody's job. Sure, I can be on time, but if I always keep that mentality, I'm always going to be trapped in a box. And one thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger said is that you have to break the rules. You don't have to break the law, but you have to break some rules. It's how people get places in life. Because if you think inside the box, you will always be trapped in the box. And if you don't believe in yourself or believe in your talents, you're never going to be happy. You'll pretend to yourself, you'll lie to yourself and tell yourself you'll be happy. But have you ever looked in the mirror? Have you ever even asked yourself, what are you good for? What things do you like to do? What things do you like to do that you can actually turn into a small business and work its way up? A small business is a seed. The thought is the seed. The work is the plant growing. But where's your seed? Do you have a seed? Do you have seeds? Are you a planter? That's what you should ask yourself. Because what are fucking seeds if you don't plant? You'll never know what's inside that seed, what beauty it possesses. You have to believe in yourself. You know? You have to break the rules. What are you good for? How will you ever know if you don't take a fucking chance? Are you a talker? You like to get around your friends and just talk and say, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that? How about you talk to yourself and ask yourself, what are you good for? Will I live my life just being someone's fucking robot? Yes man, yes woman, go do this and go do that? Are you satisfied with the money you make that you forget who you are and what you're qualified for, what you're capable of? Do you know the shit that you do at work that you're so accustomed to doing that you can actually do that shit for yourself and make money? Like for example, me, I have 20 years, going on 21 years in property management experience. I started mopping buildings to working in management, being a facilities manager, going from development to development, knocking on people's doors and finding out what's their problems, avoiding violations, city code violations, to dealing with architects and engineers, to making sure that the building's taken care of by a worker, by a worker, by a worker, by a worker. I'm a sheepdog, and I have a sheepdog. And that sheepdog has a shepherd. Listen, believe in yourself, know what you're capable of. Remember that the shit you do for a corporation, that you do on a daily basis, if you just stop and think of how easy, how simple your job is, how about you try to master the next level and then start figuring out ways to having that shit work for you somewhere else, for yourself. Break the rules. Break everybody's fucking rules and make your own. So, anyway, with that being said, I wish you all a beautiful day, a productive day, a safe day. But most importantly, give yourself back at least 10%. Today, start with a thought of who you are and what you're good at, what you love to do. The Joker said, if you're good at something, never do it for free. My son's uncle said, people in suits work for people in pajamas. 50 Cent said, sleep is for people that want to be broke. Break the rules.
And of course, rule number 2 is break the rules. We have so many rules in life about everything. I say break the rules, not the law, but break the rules. It is impossible to be a maverick or a true original if you're too well behaved and don't want to break the rules. You have to think outside the box. That's what I believe. After all, what is the point of being on this earth if all you want to do is be liked by everyone and avoid trouble? The only way that I ever got any place was by breaking some of the rules.